Hey YouTubians, it's Tony here from We Try Anything channel. Likes try anything so you don't have to. As you can see from the background to what's on my monitor currently at the minute, it is at the end of the month, or what will be the start of May, that I'm putting this video up. And what we're talking about is what watch I worn in April. Now normally when I do a review of a watch that I've bought on eBay or Argos or Amazon or anything like that, I wear it for a couple of days and then obviously I film the review, upload the review, and then I go back to a different watch as a daily driver or anything like that. But in this instance, with this video, you're getting my impressions of wearing the watch over what would be 30 days, 31 days or 28 days, 29 days in February. So you get more of a rounded opinion of what I would say are the pros and cons of wearing this watch on a daily basis. Now in what will be April's case, it is the CASIO W217H, which has a module number of 3454. Now as you can see, I've got the watch here of what I've been wearing in April, and it is the what would be the positive displayed version. Now I'm going to pop here a what would be a video that I did review this watch with, which is the silver version, where it's got a negative display and the display background was a bit of a silver color. And I've got to say, I really did like that watch, and especially the design of the watch. It really grew on me. Now normally I don't like negative display watches, but in that instance it was a really nice watch. And I've got to say, I gave it away as a Christmas present because I thought it was such a nice looking watch. It would make a great gift for what would be my brother. And I rebought it again, and I just thought I'd wear it. Well, I'd wear it in April and see what it's like. So I've written a list of stuff to talk about with this watch, and just to keep me from flying off on tangents and stuff like that. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is what it was like to wear. Now, I like watches that fit confidently around my 6.5 inch wrist, and with putting this watch on, it was either too tight or it was just that little bit loose for my liking anyhow. And I like watches, as I say, I like to confidently fit around my wrist so they don't move around. Now I am wearing May's watch, and I've got to say it fits really well. This was just that little bit too loose. Now I did get used to the feeling of it moving around on my wrist after a certain amount of time. It took about a couple of days really, whereas wearing the 96H that preceded this watch in what would be March's video, it took a couple of hours to get used to it, and then I forgot I was wearing it. It was such a great watch to wear. In this instance, it took a couple of days really to get used to this watch. And I've got to say, after I got used to it, I mean, obviously with it moving around on my wrist, I not so much forgot about it. I knew it was there, but I obviously ignored the fact that it moved around when I was moving my hoodie or anything like that. Now, it wasn't super loose. It was just a little bit loose. And as I say, I like my watches just to grip on my arm. Not really tight, but just tight enough so they don't move about. But because it moved about a little, there is some extrusions on the back of the watch. When I put the watch on, or when the watch moved about, it just tended, very, very rarely, but it tended to nip the odd hair on my quite hairy wrist really. And it just added to the fact that you knew that watch was there. But as I say, it was something I got used to, and by the end of the month I kind of didn't even care really. It was just a watch I wore on a daily basis. But that was just the only niggle with wearing the watch on a daily basis. I mean, the strap's lovely, it's nice and smooth, and it is quite malleable as well, so you don't feel the strap, you know, like some watches where the strap's quite like not as malleable. You do know you're wearing it as such, but the strap, yeah, I've got to say, it's not a bad quality for a watch that is around, I think I've seen it on Amazon for about 27, 20, we'll say 25 to 30 pound. It's not a bad strap at all. Now other than that, I've got to say it was a very easy watch to read on my wrist. It was such a nice, easy to read watch. And I'll do the usual test that I do with my glasses not on. Yeah, and I can read the time now. Hopefully, if I put it a bit closer to the camera, you know, you can get a good sense of the time there. The typeface on there, or what would be the digits, were quite nice and tall. And also they were a little, not too thick, but they were thick enough to make it really stand out. And also that display, I mean, you get the day of the week, you get the dates within the month, and also you just get the time. And obviously with it supporting 12 and 24 hours, you can either alternate between the formats quite easy. And I've got to say, it was a watch that I really did understand at a pinch really. And also at night, and I'm showing you here on the video, or just a little clip, nighttime, easy. The watch really lights up really well. The backlit display is just, or the LED, what would be the amber LED backlit display, is just fantastic on this watch. You've got no way that you'd never understand this watch in the minute, you know, in the middle of the night really. As well as the display, I'm just writing here, I love the way the background to the LED or LCD display was like a nice tinted gold, and it also matched what would be the gold highlights really well. Now I didn't find the decals, you know, on some Casios, the decals where it says illuminator and 10-year battery, sometimes they do stand out, and while they do sometimes make the watch a little sporty, they can detract from the overall value part of the watch. Now for me, I like the little white highlights. I love the gold elements to it, obviously the gold framing to what would be the outer part of the watch, and I've got to say it just contrasted really nice with that black resin case and the black resin strap to this watch. And also just to mention, it is a resin crystal, so it can scratch, so just be aware of that if you are looking at a watch like this. But for me, with it being a £25, £30 watch, I didn't worry about the actual a crystal getting scratched or anything like that, because these are, you know, they are designed to be worn on a daily basis really. But that display, fantastic. I've got to say, really easy to read and really easy to understand, and I just love the gold elements to the background of the LCD display, and obviously, as I've mentioned, just what would be the highlights on the watch. Moving on from that, the functions of this watch, it is a simple watch. Now what I would see this watch as being as a bigger brother to what is known as the iconic Casio F91W. It's got the same kind of functions to it, but the added advantage of this watch is that you have got water resistance, so I wasn't worried about washing the cars, and I certainly wasn't worried about doing any gardening wearing this watch, because I believe it's got what would be 5 bar water resistance, or what would be 50 meters in terms of water resistance. So if it's raining, if you want to go in the shower, if you want to go in the bath, this watch, you can just wear it wherever you want to wear it really. So I had no qualms in that aspect. And as I say, it is, I would see it as the bigger brother of the F91W. So in terms of what would be the features I've written here, it's got a single daily alarm with an hourly signal, so it goes off on the hour every hour if you've got that hourly signal activated. It has a stopwatch that will measure up to what would be an hour in terms of capacity, and it also you can have a split time if you want, and also you can have first and second times. Now to operate all them, I've done a tutorial video on this watch, so if you want to find out a bit more about how to operate this watch, then just click in the description box below and that will take you off to that video. Now in terms of the overall, or what I thought of this watch wearing it over the 30 days in April, I'd say it's a very simple watch to wear, very simple to understand in terms of pros, easy to understand, so easy to understand, and obviously because it's a simple watch, it's very easy to use as well. You don't need any vast manuals or anything like that. Just follow my tutorial and you'll get an understanding within minutes about how to use this watch. Obviously you've got the water resistance as well, 50 meters, and you've got that 7-year battery life, which is fantastic. And also reading, it's easy to read, and it is super easy to read at night with that lovely bright backlit LED amber lighting really, because it is just really easy to read at night. Now if this color doesn't appeal to you, nor that silver and negative display, you can get it in different colors and all forms of different things with this watch, and it really does make it a very versatile watch to wear or to own really. Now as I've mentioned, the only cons that I found with wearing this watch over the 30 days that I've got here is, for me, 6.5 inch wrist, it was just a little too loose for my liking. And as I did get used to it over a certain amount of time, it was a watch that I was never 100% comfortable with. Now that is my experience. Your experience will be different because you'll have a different wrist type, hopefully not as hairy, and hopefully it won't nip as much as it did in the rare instance when I put it on and took it off, or when it moved on my wrist, I did feel it nipping. So it's a watch that, how can I say, it's a watch I will wear again, but it over say watches like the W217H that I've featured, and like the Casio calculator watch that I've worn, I would probably much prefer wearing them than I will do this. But again, don't discount this watch. It is a great watch to own. It's got a lot going for it, and if it fits perfectly on your wrist, you'll probably never want to take it off because it is so simple. That water resistance makes it very versatile in wearing it in different situations. Plus it's around the £25 to £30, so very affordable in terms of having a watch that just sits on your wrist with a plus and minus of 30 seconds per month accuracy. So you'll never go wrong with this watch. So I hope this what would be my daily driver 30 days, what it's like, pros and cons with the W217H. I hope you like it really, and if you did, then please give it a thumbs up. It always helps the channel. If you want to see any more videos from the We Try Anything channel, then click on the subscription button below. And thank you for watching this video, and we look forward to seeing you next time. Goodbye.